Hey everybody, Douglas Blair Roberts here, the Super Vader 400, and of course the brown skin human coming back at you with another movie series review intro. My previous movie series review intro, whenever I uploaded to YouTube, for some odd reason, the newest, the Crush 40 upload of Sonic What I'm Made Of, their uploaded version for some odd reason has a copyright on it, and whenever I see, and the copyright is actually not a problem according to YouTube, but if I ever want to set this account up for monetization, it will be a problem. So I'm going to do a remade version using two non-copyrighted songs. Even though this is an intro for movie reviews and rants, the What I'm Made Of will from now on this channel will only be the outro, and I'll use one of the old school non-copyrighted uploads of Sonic What I'm Made Of. The intros will feature the Sonic Heroes theme, which I haven't used in a long time, and of course the iconic We Can that I use a lot now. Everywhere on every other platform, the intros, I will use the old intro. So with that being said, let's get started right now. Hey everybody, it is now time for my off-camera part 2, off-camera webcam review of one of the most influential anime, one of the greatest and most influential anime video game based movies and video game based movies period of all time, Street Fighter 2, the anime review. Just like with my first part, this is my late out of date review webcam version where I talk longer about the film. When it comes to Street Fighter 2, the anime film, I've always postponed this review because I wanted to do. I felt one review just didn't do it justice. I've always wanted to do a special review for Street Fighter 2, the anime film. I decided to do this one regular review like all my other films. Then sometime in the future, sometime in the quote unquote future, yeah, the future, sometime in the quote unquote future, to quote unquote sometime in the quote-unquote future, do the tie-in review. I wanted to review it with something like a video game, like I started with my Street Fighter, Double Dragon, and Mortal Kombat cartoon reviews, but I don't feel like recording a bunch of television and video game footage, so I decided to postpone those indefinitely. But this review, this Street Fighter review, I wanted to get some Street Fighter stuff out there. This Street Fighter review right here, this anime film, I saw it for the first time in 1997. In 1997, 3 years after its Japanese release, which was August 1994, August 6, 1994, and was released somewhere in 1995 here in America. 2 years after its American release. Street Fighter 2, the anime film. Even before I knew what that term was, Street Fighter 2, the anime film is one of the first anime movies I actually saw, and I had no idea it was anime. I had no idea what anime was until 2000s, even though I got into it in the 90s. But as I called it from Japan, this was the first cartoon movie that I knew was from Japan, or as I called it back then, cartoons from Japan. Street Fighter 2 was one of the first, alongside Sailor Moon, Ronin Warriors, and Dragon Ball Z. This was quote unquote these were quote unquote the first animes I saw. The first official animes I saw were Astro Boy, Vampire Hunter D, Gotcha Man, which was G-Force Guardians of Space, and Speed Racer. But I had no idea those were animes, because all of those things seemed so Western. These other franchises I just mentioned, Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball, Street Fighter, and Ronin Warriors, they all felt anime like. They all felt and looked like anime. Looked like looked like something from Japan. Something that wasn't from quote unquote here. So yeah, Street Fighter 2, the anime film. I saw the original English dub. I saw it in the 90s and rediscovered in the 2000s with the Street Fighter 2 anniversary disc, which contains Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo and Street Fighter 3rd Strike and various extras, and one of those was a Street Fighter 2 the anime film. For some odd reason my disc got scratched and my Street Fighter 2 the anime film movie doesn't work. That quote unquote doesn't work. So and the disc my uncle recorded doesn't work either, so I had to find it online. I might just buy it one day. But I saw the English version 3 years ago in 2019. I finally saw the very awesome, superior Japanese version, which is so much better than its quote unquote English version. I like both, but the Japanese version is better. English version is easier to watch. Don't have to read a lot of subtitles. Or watch a version I'm watching that you'll hear in the background right now. Watch a quote unquote non-subtitled version, but the Japanese version is so much more epic, and it's so much a better experience, and it's held up much better. It's held up much better than its English counterpart. Yeah, Street Fighter 2, the anime film, is widely considered the best video game based anime film of all time and the best adaptation of Street Fighter. For me, second best. I think it's Saturday morning cartoon adaptation wise was better. I also thought their later produced Alpha, the animation movie based on the Alpha series in Street Fighter, was also was also better. Not to mention the comic books. These comic books based on Street Fighter were also better. So second best in the Street Fighter. Second best in the Street Fighter franchise, but the most influential. All those other things I just mentioned would not exist had this movie not been successful first. Had this movie not been successful first. Had this movie not been successful first. And this movie, shortly after I saw this movie first. But shortly after this, I saw the live action film with Jean-Claude Van Damme. Then that movie at the time, it was awesome, but it was weird when I saw that movie. This movie felt more like the Street Fighter I remember. I barely knew what the story was as a kid. All I knew was Ryu and them were Ken, Guile, and Chun-Li and them were the good guys. And Bison, Sagat, Vega, and Vega and Balrog were the quote-unquote bad guys. Balrog, his allegiance confused me when I saw the live action. When I saw the live action film, like, wait a minute, wasn't Balrog one of the bad guys, and so as such, and then, so yeah, but this was closer to the Street Fighter. I remember almost an exact replica of the Street Fighter 2 video game series. It has the plot of quote-unquote Champions Edition mixed with but it features characters from the Turbo quote-unquote franchise. And this movie right here would serve as inspiration for, my opinion, some of the best Street Fighter games in timeline. And that, of course, was the best Street Fighter, the Alpha series. Even the Alpha series, Alpha 2 and 3 feature a dramatic battle mode where Ryu and Ken have a team-up battle against Bison, kind of like in the finale of this movie here. The finale of this movie here. Yeah, the plot of this movie, like I said, is based on the Street Fighter 2 series, features characters from Turbo, but it mostly uses the original plot from Street Fighter 2. That was a tournament held by M. Bison, a tournament held by Shadaloo, led by M. Bison, multiple people, actually, except the tournament is not featured, but Bison is the main antagonist. And in the game, Bison holds a tournament to lure the best fighters in the world there. One particular fighter he wants to lure, of course, is Ryu as the new host for his quote-unquote psycho power. They omit the tournament from this plot, but they keep the street fighting and they keep Bison's interest in Ryu and Ken. He wants Ryu. He quote-unquote wants Ryu because of his extreme power and become the next host of his body. And to do this, he fails to track down Ryu, so he instead tracks down his rival Ken instead, and brainwashes quote-unquote brainwashes Ken. The other Street Fighters, Guile and Chun-Li, their storylines are left intact, with both of them wanting revenge on Bison. Guile for the death of his best friend and mentor Charlie. Chun-Li for the death of her father, there's a scene which shows Bison dropping him down an elevator shaft, which I think is also in the video game too. Video game 2, and Ken wants to, I think he wants to find and avenge his loss to Ryu. He wants to find and avenge his loss to quote-unquote Ryu, yeah. Favorite characters are number 1, Ken. He's, my opinion, the MVP of this film. Even though Ryu's the lead character of this film, Ken, my opinion, is the lead character of this film. I like Ken much better in movies, animes, and cartoons, and television than I do of the video games. There's more depth due to the fact that the movies get to focus more on storytelling and characterization. There's more depth with Ken in the quote-unquote video game, in the movies than there is in the video games. Yeah, so number 1 is Ken, followed by number 2 is Ryu, Guile, Chun-Li, Darcy, Honda, and Balrog. Everyone else who I enjoy, they're just kind of cameos. They just kind of show up for cameos and don't show up again. The only issue I have with this quote-unquote film, this film looks like the setup to another film or a television series, but there was never anything after. It was just one gigantic one-time movie. No series came after it. There was a Street Fighter 2 briefly, but it has nothing to do with this movie. It's neither a prequel or a sequel to this movie, even though various voice actors from this movie come back for that series. Since I'm talking about the Street Fighter cartoons, both the anime and the American cartoon, one thing I like better about the movies, this and the Alpha version, was that when it comes to the power levels, especially the power levels of the characters of Ryu and Ken, these films feature them at quote-unquote full power. Ryu especially in the cartoon versions, they're wimps, they're pussies and weaklings compared to Ryu here, the monitor registers his power at what, 36,000, I don't remember the last one, but 36,000 plus. 36,000 plus. That's almost on par. That's almost on par with Nappa from Dragon Ball. I'm saying so. What's his name? Ryu, he's not getting smacked around or is like a lame comedy relief like he is in the cartoon, or just getting smacked around like he is in Victory. No, he's whooping all sorts of butt. They got Ryu as the main character, the lead character, not only the main character, the lead character, like he should be in the franchise, like he quote-unquote should be, Same with Ken, they're the leading roles like they should be in this and in the quote-unquote Alpha films. Next, one thing I like better about this adaptation of Street Fighter compared to the cartoon, the American version, this is all these Street Fighter animes. When it comes to the fights, man. When it comes to the fights, their fights are better choreographed and animated. And this film, one notable thing about this film feature full length realistic choreographed fight scenes in comparison to the cheesy, exaggerated anime fight scenes of other anime films and television series. K1 kickboxers, I keep forgetting the other one, but I think one of them was the late Andy Hardy, I keep forgetting the other one. Choreographed the fight scenes in this movie right here. Choreographed the fight scenes in this movie. So like I said, this has realistic, you see realistic martial arts, boxing and kickboxing, and grappling in this movie compared to others. I still prefer the exaggerated but realistic action of Alpha and various others animes more. But that was one interesting thing about this quote-unquote film right here. So like I said, plot starts off recapping Ryu's battle with Sagat. recapping Ryu's battle with Sagat, with Ryu defeating Sagat after a hard-fought battle and defeating him with the Shoryuken punch, the uppercut, spinning uppercut punch, which quote Sagat is iconic scar, just like in Street Fighter, the original Street Fighter. And Sagat, in his last appearance, swears vengeance, but Bison tells him he's with Shadaloo now, and his place is with Shadaloo, not the street, not the quote-unquote street. And his last scene mission is terminating Vega, who later in the film was tasked with hunting down and killing Chun-Li. Vega, in one of the more memorable fight scenes where Chun-Li fights, where Vega ambushes Chun-Li in her apartment, and Chun-Li fights Vega in her blouse and underwear, and defeats Vega with her signature high kick combo, kicking him off the wall to his presumed death. He's never seen again after that, so I take it he's dead. He's dead. And Sagat is sent to kill him, but he isn't already dead. Same with then it cuts to Cammy. Who assassinates the Prime Minister, but who was brainwashed and assassinates the Prime Minister. And Chun-Li tries to interrogate her, but Chun-Li gets nothing, as Cammy just can't seem to remember the brainwash. I think he's also tasked. Bison also kicks Cammy to the curb when she quote-unquote fails too. Meanwhile, Ryu in his first fight, he asks around and he gets he goes around nightclub asking about a fighter, and they quote-unquote and the other fighters drag him into the ring, accuse him of trash talking and drag him into the ring. The first Ryu headbutts the first muscular warrior and defeats him with one punch. Then Fei Long makes his introduction, and Ryu defeats him after a hard-fought battle, and Fei Long tells Ryu what became of Sagat and Shadaloo, and Ryu continues on his journey. He encounters some bison troopers, saves a little girl, and gives her money that she accidentally spilt. Gives her money for milk that she accidentally spilt, purchasing her mother. Then, quote-unquote, he fights, then, quote-unquote, his presence distracts Dalsim and Honda. Dalsim, who is fighting a village tournament match, a street fight with quote-unquote Dalsim, and Honda's losing, but Dalsim gets distracted by the presence of Ryu. This allows Honda to take the advantage, and Honda gives Ryu half of the money, agreeing that Japanese fighters should stick together because they're brothers. One of the lines I remember the most from this, the English version. The quote-unquote English version. And later, then of course they continue going. Then Ryu continues on his journey. Meanwhile, Kid is introduced. He gets introduced with his girlfriend Eliza and pursues to get married. Eliza at first refuses, but then later, after Kid gets distracted by flashbacks of him and Ryu training, decides nearly crashes, and Eliza then decides to give it a second thought. The next fight is Ken. Ken gets into a street fight with T-Hawk from the game. Ken defeats him, but doesn't kill him, even though T-Hawk demands it. Ken calls him an idiot and says he's not worth it, no one is alive can defeat me except that one man. Of course, he's looking for Ryu. We're then introduced to Chun-Li, who is tasked with working with Guile, who is part of Interpol and is tasked with working with the Air Force, where Guile is introduced. Guile at first refuses Chun-Li's help, saying Bison's ass is his. And Chun-Li jokingly calls him to brush head. This isn't a request, mocking his haircut. They they later get into a squabble, but then Guile reluctantly agrees to work with Chun-Li, work with quote unquote Chun-Li. Chun-Li. So they go around warning the other Street Fighters about the whereabouts of Bison. Zangief and Blanca show up for a quick fight and never seen again. They warn DJ, who's running a nightclub and beating up some thugs and punks causing trouble at his nightclub, and Guile and Chun-Li warn him that Bison is looking for him, and that when Bison finds him, you either join him or die. And then of course Guile, they later learn that they're trying to find Ryu. Chun-Li gets injured, so she can't continue on the quest, and Bison instead finds Ken. It severely incapacitates Ken and brainwashes him, and everyone, Guile meets up with Ryu, and they are encountered by Bison and Balrog. Honda fights Balrog, and Guile fights Bison and quickly loses, and Ryu fights the brainwashed king, eventually makes him remember. Bison then comes and shoots Ken and kicks him to the curb for his failure, and Ryu does battle with Bison and is losing. Ken then remembers who he was and rejoins Ryu on the battlefield. Together they take on Bison in one of the best scenes, and together with a team up Shoryuken and double Hadoukens, they finish off Bison, knocking him into the spaceship, and then everyone parts ways, and the film ends with Bison showing that he survived driving a truck, crashing right into Ryu, and Ryu jumps at the truck, kicking it, and the film ends there, and that's the last we ever see of these characters. Loved every bit of this film. Only problem I had was the other Street Fighters just showed up for cameos and never showed up again. There was never any follow-up or sequel to this movie right here. Next was favorite best scenes. Ryu. Favorite best scenes I enjoy every scene with Ryu, Ken, and Guile fighting Bison and Honda, while Honda fights Balrog, being the best of the fight scenes in the quote-unquote movie. So awesome adaptation of Street Fighter. Like I said, it started it all. Various video game cartoons. Various video game cartoons and animes try to replicate what was seen here in Street Fighter 2, the anime film. Street Fighter, the animated series. The first season was cheesy, campy, and was basically G.I. Joe and X-Men. The second season was more anime, like it was more Street Fighter lore, and it got the ideas from the Victory anime that was also inspired by this, and the two anime films. So that's why I like Street Fighter 2. This inspired the very awesome Street Fighter Alpha series, the bulky Bison. I like the skinny Bison, but the skinny Bisons, but the bulky Bison, the iconic bulky Bison was inspired by this movie right here. As was, I mentioned, the dramatic battle, Ryu and Ken teaming up to deal with Bison, quote-unquote Bison. It was the coolest thing I ever saw when I was a kid. Street Fighter come to life, come to quote-unquote life. And this, of course, inspired Capcom to later produce the very superior Street Fighter Alpha, the animation. Well, this was Street Fighter to the anime film. You want to hear the rest of the music? Turn the video off right now. 美しい娘ではない。おー